Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Next Up. We're going to conclude what we've been talking about, chemical awareness, knowing what's in our foods and our liquids as well. Very, very interesting. So I ask questions like, have you ever heard of azotic carbonamide, atrazine, bisphenol A, just to name a few? All right, let's continue talking about chemical awareness. We need to know. You see, again, our bodies are like a chemical factory. Everything you put in is a chemical. And the body, like a chemical factory, is breaking down, simulating, transporting these chemicals to where they're supposed to be nutrifying our system. Again, my point in this talk, as I've done on part 1 and part 2, is to bring awareness. I want to know. I talk to my food, and I encourage you to do the same thing. I want to know, and here's how I talk to it. I want to know who raised you. With what did they raise you? How were you raised? Where are you coming from? How long did it take for you to get to me, to our grocery store, our supermarket, convenience store, or fast food restaurant? I want to know these things. Well, I don't care anything about that, Calvin Ellison. Yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons why your health may be where it is. And hopefully it's in a good state. But we can better our health if we are aware of what we're bringing in the house. Many people are hurting themselves health-wise, number one, because we just don't know. The scriptures let us know we are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So I've got to gain knowledge in order to have a good quality of health. All right. But then number two, people's health is being destroyed, dying prematurely, many, because we're eating ourselves to death, putting chemicals in or food items that are loaded with chemicals. We are in a toxic society. Just look around. I question not only what I drink and what I eat, but I question what goes on my skin. I used to use lotion. I don't use lotion now. I don't have to. I use other items like coconut oil, unrefined coconut oil. And as far as my face is concerned, I'll use vitamin E. See, I want stuff that my body is made of. So when it comes down to putting stuff on my face, it's vitamin E. If I'm using what used to be lotion, I'm using shea butter that's got vitamin E and other natural things in it, or I'm using coconut oil, again, that is unrefined. What's my point? My point is to utilize stuff that my body is made of. All right, so I don't get into all these skin problems and creating skin cancers. I went to the doctor, this is probably about 30 years ago, and I was shocked. He said, you have a rare form of cancer. I was checking my back out and said, you have a rare skin cancer. I'm like, whoa, we got to change that. Man, I began to look into everything that I was eating, what I was putting on my body, and has not had that skin cancer issue since. My encouragement to you again is to know what you're bringing in the house, know what you're putting on the house. We do that to our physical homes. You don't let people walk in your home with mud on their shoes. You don't permit that. But yet we permit muddy stuff in our bodies. We just got to simply cut it out. Know what's coming in. As the scripture says, set a watch over your mouth we've got to set a watch. We've got to know what we're bringing in. All right. It was talking about what you say, of course, but we need to set a watch over what we're eating, what we're drinking. All right. I'm going back to the PowerPoint. And we're going to continue there, hopefully conclude on my PowerPoint here dealing with these chemicals. All right, let me get it rolling here, so bear with me for just a moment. All right, we've been dealing with chemical, there it is, chemical awareness. Now, I've already been through some of this on the first two videos, and I do encourage you to go back and look at them because I don't have time to go back through all of this. So anyway, you'll see some of the chemicals that I've already talked about, like high fructose corn syrup. Okay, and some of the things that it does, like increasing your triglycerides, always made usually with genetically modified corn, contributes to the development of diabetes and tissue damage, just to name a few things about it. Then we talked about MSG, monosodium glutamate, used to enhance flavor in about 80% of processed foods. We talked about fluoride. We're all familiar, no doubt, with fluoride. Okay. Aluminum. I used to have deodorants that had aluminum in it, and rubbing it under my arm and having knots grow under my armpits. I cut out the aluminum. I started reading the label of what was on the deodorant, what's on the toothpaste. I started reading the label on what's on some of the house cleaning items that we've been bringing in. Made some changes. I've looked at it also, even in spray starch. I'm in the process of making my own spray starch. You can do it too. Go to YouTube, type in homemade spray starch, make some of your own. All right. When I looked at the spray starch and it has sodium benzoate in it, I'm like, oh no, we got to make some changes. So aluminum, BPA standing for bisphenol A, a synthetic estrogen that tends to hyperfeminize women and feminize men. Atrazine. Professor Tyrone Hayes did a study, he and his colleagues, on atrazine some years ago. Well, he did the study, came back with the results, and they fired him because they didn't want it out in the public, what atrazine does in the human body. Look it up for yourself. I did, and I didn't like it. And I see why they fired Professor Tyrone Hayes. Look him up for yourself. Study atrazine. Sodium benzoate, found in lemonades, Kool-Aid, pickles, soy sauce, salad dressings. When mixed with vitamin C, it transforms into benzene, a known carcinogen and DNA damager. Sodium benzoate. Oh my God. I found it in cupcakes. You see some of the items there on the flyer, but you just have to read the label because I've seen it on stuff that I liked. I've seen it on banana nut muffins. That's why, as much as I love banana nut muffins, I'm not going to eat one not with sodium benzoate in it. So I'll find one that does not have that item in it. All right. Aspartame. Aspartame. I think we'll start here again. Aspartame, by far the most dangerous substance, it has been said, and I given you a reference where I pulled this information from, and it said that it is by far one of the most dangerous substances on the market. Approved for dry food, for dry foods since 1981. Approved for carbonated beverages in 1983. Look how long this stuff has been in our items, our food items, or our drinks. It's been a long time. So it makes you think, how long have I been consuming something of this particular nature? Something to be aware of, good people. In sugar-free ice cream, we're talking about aspartame. In jellies, jams, ice cream toppings, sugar-free ketchup. So here's what I've learned. If it says sugar-free, you really better watch the label, because usually it's going to have something like aspartame or some of those other unnatural sweeteners that lead to a lot of problems. Again, if the chemical makeup of what you put on the body or in the body doesn't match the chemical makeup of the body. Now I'm speaking for the University of Common Sense at this moment. If the chemical makeup of what I put on my body or in my body doesn't match the chemical makeup of my body, it makes common sense. I'm going to have a problem sooner or later, depending on how much of this stuff I'm utilizing or ingesting on a regular basis. Notice, causes headaches, migraines, dizziness, seizures, nausea, muscle spasms, weight gain. Though it's advertised as sugar-free, then how can it cause weight gain? Well, you have to consider the chemical makeup and what it does in the body. Kevin Trudeau wrote a book years ago talking about how manufacturers had been, now this is at least somewhere close to 20 years ago when I read his book. He used to be on television about 7 or 8 times a day. And he said in his book, they put chemicals in foods to make us hungrier, addictive, and fatter. Now, aspartame, one of those chemicals, the way it works and metabolizes in the body, helps to promote weight gain, though it's advertised as a sugar-free or in sugar-free items. Beware. Know what you're bringing in the house. All right? Causes breathing difficulties. What? Vertigo. It causes vertigo, world spinning. I've had an episode or 2 with vertigo some time ago. I know what that's like. World spinning. Aspartame contributes to vertigo, brain tumors, diabetes, birth defects. Again, good people, we simply got to know what we're bringing in the house. If it doesn't match the chemical makeup of the body, I don't care how good it tastes. I don't care how nice the package looks. Don't be fooled, like they used to say on that commercial years ago. Don't fool with Mother Nature. Mother Nature, as it was posed, or God does not need man adding chemicals to what he created. Now, if you're going to add stuff together, dear God, let it be what our loving Father gave us. And there's nothing wrong with mixing stuff. There's nothing wrong with making a shake that has banana and an apple and other natural ingredients in it. I'm talking about when we start mixing these man-made chemical items in natural items, there's going to be a problem sooner or later. But it looks like it's sooner nowadays because people are consuming so much of these man-made chemicals. Brominated vegetable oil is another chemical we've got to be on the lookout for. And it's items like this that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been at work to get out of the American food supply. I'm amazed, and I'm really just imagining the quality of health that we can have just getting these items out of our food supply. They're toxins. They're not real, labeled as artificial, and people still bring them home and consume them. And I get it. I used to do that too. Why? Because they tasted good. They were appealing to the eyes. And I was consuming them until I dug deeper at God's leading, found out what they would do in my body, and cut it out. And some of you right now, you need to hear me say this again. Cut out the madness. Stop it. Consider what you're bringing in. If you're considering the type of gas or oil that you put in your vehicle, consider what you're bringing in this priceless vehicle called the human body. So brominated vegetable oil found in fruit-flavored sodas, originally patented as a flame retardant. We've been putting this stuff in our bodies, produces reproductive and behavioral problems. We don't need that in our bodies. Antibiotics, 80% of them are put in animals that have no physical problems to make them fatter and grow faster. Antibiotics. This is why when I use antibiotics, and I do, I use something natural, like garlic. I keep around the house oregano oil, a natural antibiotic. All right? But we've got to be aware of all these antibiotics that are put in our food supply. Organophosphate, made from World War II nerve gas. My God, who wants that in their bodies? Found in soy, corn, wheat flour, some oats, causes behavioral problems, poor and short-term memory, poor motor skills, ADHD, and a wide range of mental disorders in children, cancer, developmental effects, and even Parkinson's disease. To me, it makes sense. If I'm putting in my body, which I'm not, I used to, something made from World War II nerve gas, it makes sense it's going to cause biological problems. I'm sharing this because I love you. God loves you. And he doesn't, it's not his will that anybody perish with all these chemicals put in our food supply, and then of course we're consuming them. Propylene glycol, used in car engines and antifreeze, as antifreeze. Propylene glycol, it's in a lot of stuff. Used in bar soaps, mouthwash, shampoo, and conditioners, baking mixes. Look it up for yourself. I've gone to the supermarkets, read the labels. I'm like, oh my God, this stuff is in our food supply. And we're wondering why this great nation that we live in is one of the sickest on the planet. You can see why, looking at all of these chemicals. It's used, let's see, in salad dressings, deodorants, Desserts in the bakery section in our supermarkets, our grocery stores. Beware of propylene glycol, a food thickener, stabilizer, causes allergic reactions, skin, liver, kidney damage. Azoticarbonamide, number 13, used in the production of foamed plastics. Was used in Subway's 9-grain bread until they took it out some years ago. How do you know it was in there? Well, they had a national commercial that they were taking it out. Azoticarbonamide, banned in the UK, Europe, Australia, Singapore. All right. Causes birth defects, asthma, growth problems, hearing loss, and etc. Castoreum. Now, this one really got me to you all. Castoreum, known in products as natural flavors. I'll never forget, there's a lady that I saw years ago. She's still out there and active as an advocate, helping to promote our health, called the Food Babe. You can look her up. She and others too used to really talk about castoreum. Notice, taken from a beaver's anal glands. Oh my God. Gross. Castoreum taken from a beaver's anus gland and put in our food items. Number 14, these dyes like blue number 2 and yellow number 5 and yellow number 6, going by the name of tartrazine, been found in Nabisco cheese nips, Frito-Lay products, Hunt's snack pudding, pack pudding, Lucky Charms, Eggo waffles. Just read the labels. You'll see what I found out and come to know and now avoid. And that's my encouragement to you. My love for you. Don't bring it in your house. Get control of your taste buds. Get these natural foods in your body and keep working with them until you enjoy that apple, where you enjoy that pear, where you learn to enjoy. You can dress it up, that broccoli or that cauliflower. But by all means, stay away from food items that has these chemicals in them. Propylgallate, used in 1948 as a preservative to stabilize cosmetics, food processing materials, and contains oils and fats found in processed meat products and potato products, chicken soup base, chewing gum and candy, dried milk, baked goods, and more. Also found in anti-dandruff shampoo. Man, I was at the hotel one day, my wife and I was getting ready to rub that shampoo through my head, and I got this check from God. You know, I trained you to talk to you about reading labels. Man, I read that label. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no. Man, I found so many toxins in that shampoo in the hotel. The bed slept well. Good service there in the hotel. But dear God, stuff that was in that shampoo, I refused to take it. I've had people give me colognes. Smelled very good. But when I read the label of that cologne, I'm like, there's no way in good consciousness I'm putting that on my body, on my shirt, and smelling that stuff. So I stopped using those colognes that the average person uses, that pay $45 and $50 and more, some less, to toxify themselves. I used to do it. Oh, this is going to smell real good. My wife is going to love this. Yeah, right. But what I was doing to myself, ingesting that stuff, wasn't a good thing. All right, we're just about finished. There are some other items or some other dangers, potential dangers of propylgallate, thyroid issues, rare brain tumors, prostate inflammation, pancreatic tumors, chemicals. So in conclusion, good people, to protect your health, store your food in glass containers whenever possible. All right? Try to get away from some of the plastics. And if you're going to use the plastics, be aware of the number on that plastic. Don't expose that plastic to heat. Don't put that plastic in a microwave. Don't do that because you're going to activate the chemical that's in that plastic. If you're going to use it to store stuff in the refrigerator, if you're going to do that. But don't expose it to heat because you're going to activate the chemical. On the bottom of just about every plastic container are numbers from 1 to 7. Those numbers tell you how toxic that item is. Number 5 has been found to be the greater number or the better number if you're going to utilize plastic items. Only use natural cleaning products, or at least gravitate towards using more and more natural cleaning products because, again, they got chemicals in them. I was in the supermarket again a few weeks ago, just walking down the aisle where the dish detergent, clothes detergent, man, there was so much chemical fume coming out of those items on that aisle. I had to hurry up and get out of that aisle because I was aware of it. And it was just makes you feel woozy and so forth. You got to be aware of chemicals that are even in cleaning products. Buy and eat as much as possible organic foods. Avoid processed foods. I'm talking about protecting your health and the health of your family. Avoid processed foods. Avoid artificial food additives of any kind. Artificial simply means it's not real. Artificial, synthetic, unnatural. Again, if the chemical makeup of what you put in and what you put on doesn't match the chemical makeup of the body, you're going to tend to have problems. Avoid all varieties of unfermented soy. But let me go back over that again. Beware of soy products. Let me put it like that. Unfermented. You want the fermented soy products if you're going to get them. And I use fermented stuff. I use kombucha. I love it. You might want to try it. It's what I call a soda replacement. That's what I drink on a regular basis. I used to drink all those drinks with the high fructose corn syrup, 12 teaspoons of sugar in them. Oh, I used to drink that stuff, but I cut it out. Blood sugar issues got up and left. Skin issues disappeared. Back issue stopped because I stopped putting those unnatural things in, those unnatural drinks, just because they taste good. The containers look good. I cut it out. So I went to fermented products like kombucha, kimchi, sauerkraut, stuff that is fermented, good for the intestinal tract, building that intestinal bacterial flora that we need to help break our foods down. So, and lastly, switch to natural brands of toiletries, including shampoo, toothpaste, antiperspirants, and ladies, even cosmetics. Beware of what's in the makeup that you put on your face. But my point here again is we've got to be in the know so that we can make informed decisions. Hopefully, that will promote our health so that we don't have to spend so much time or any time, hopefully, fighting disease. I pray that you've been greatly empowered, educated, and that you will subscribe, like, and share the Next Up podcast. Oh my God, I'm so thrilled to be able to bring this stuff to you, to share with you stuff that can help us promote and protect our number one wealth, which is our health. Don't forget again to subscribe, like, and share the Next Up podcast. I look forward to seeing you next time on Next Up. God bless you and have a great rest of your day, night, or evening.